So, do you prefer James or Jim?
Jim is fine.
Hi, Jim.
Hi.
Because I asked because you've been credited as both.
I I made this decision that
Mm-hmm.
I've been using James for so long for my audio work,
Mm-hmm.
but that for doing outside of audio, like directing or producing, Jim is what people call me. So
Yeah.
I decided I would use that as my credit.
Yep. I'm also just looking at the posters in your background. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm blocking a little bit there.
Hmm. So, how did you get into the entertainment industry?
I just feel like I was always kind of drawn to it for some reason. I loved watching TV and listening to music, and also really liked audio. And really, the kind of the beginning of all of that was high school, and I kind of fell in with the drama class clique in high school, and I also was interested in doing sound effects work, and that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of what started me off.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went to college, I hooked up with the drama department
Mm-hmm.
and said I'd be interested in doing some audio work, and it was like great.
Mm-hmm.
And that really kind of launched me into being a sound designer
Cool.
for theater. And and then out of college, I got this great job at the Berkeley Repertory Theater, being the resident sound designer. But after a while, I had an interest in trying to work in film, and over the course of a few years, met some people and was able to land my first job as kind of like an apprentice on a film. And so that's kind of like my trajectory.
It's cool. Mm-hmm. And number three, when they say in the credits sound designer, what do they particularly mean?
That's a really excellent question because um, I think that as let's say you have a set designer,
Mm-hmm.
like for instance, you got this wonderful background here,
Mm-hmm.
and someone decided in conjunction with other people what it should look like, how it, all the aspects of it. What is the medium? Is it, what kind of paint is it, and what is it going to show? The same thing holds true for sound. And in theater, I mean, in film, um, I, as a sound designer, I really think about the story, and I think about, and really, there's two things here, Theo. One of them is that every sound has a function, and every sound has an emotion. And if you understand those two things are what's required, you tend to make better choices.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I'm working on a film and it's taking place in like let's say less desirable neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
You might be hearing things like, let's not hear any birds here, or if we hear birds, let's add in crows because they're kind of an ugly sounding bird.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll be hearing trains off camera, or my favorite thing to add in is like not seeing it but hearing like a garbage truck picking up garbage. These are like annoying sounds and kind of oppressive. um so it is working with the rest of the film, the director producer,
Mm-hmm.
on really kind of what we want to hear in those scenes, and then using my knowledge to make really the right choices.
Mm-hmm. And what was it like to tell your story in Crip Camp? Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
it was amazing. I co-directed and co-produced with a wonderful documentarian. Her
Mm-hmm.
name is Nicole Noonan.
Mm-hmm.
She's and what was really wonderful was that I had pitched an idea to her about doing a documentary about my summer camp,
Mhm.
and she asked if we could do it together.
Mhm.
And that was an incredible collaboration. So there were times where, as we're making the film, excuse me,
Mhm.
that we kind of said, okay, is it real Jim or character Jim? In other words, am I the director at the moment, or am I this, excuse me, or am I this character in the film?
Mhm.
And everyone we really worked with were really top notch. And so there were times where I would be responding to a piece of footage that we were seeing. Um, I narrated at times the film, and it was almost like being in therapy occasionally, kind of
Mhm.
like, wow, this was really, hitting me really hard, or, um, but also there were incredible moments of joy. You work on a documentary, and ours has a lot of archival footage in it,
Yeah.
and you go out and search for stuff. And we worked with a couple of great um, uh, archivists,
Mhm.
and something would you'd order something purely by its title to look at a screener, and all of a sudden you see one of your characters who
Mhm.
went to Camp Jened, and it's footage of them living in Berkeley. Now you know that they moved to Berkeley, but um, you didn't really there didn't see them, didn't know that any footage existed. And all of a sudden, oh my gosh, there's Nancy Rosenblum living, independently in Berkeley.
Mhm.
And, you just jump up and down when you see this stuff.
Yeah.
And I do also remember I came into the editing room, and Nicole had been working with our editor for a while, and
Mhm.
they said, we want to show you a scene. And I wish I could tell you which scene it was. I forget. But I just remember seeing this and going, well, maybe now finally people will understand. And
Yeah.
what I mean by that is that we wanted to reframe for people with and without disabilities what it meant to live with a disability.
And how did you get the stock footage in Crip Camp?
Um, well, do you mean kind of like the black and white footage of us at
Any of the
camp?
footage, the camp, the protests.
Well, various sources. Um, I had remembered these people coming to the camp with their video recorders, but I didn't remember much more than that, except that the name People was in their name of their group. And Nicole, I think she spent about 3 months scouring the internet, um, and finally found what was a videographer magazine that had been recently digitized on the net. And it had an ad in the back that said, crab epidemic at Camp Jeanette for the handicapped, 695
Mhm.
people's video theater. And with that, we were able to find a couple of the people, and wound up finding out that their footage still existed. um
Mhm.
some of the other stuff, like of the protests and such, there
Mhm.
are archives from news sources. And that's the beauty of um, the people that we worked with, that they're really knowledgeable about where these libraries are of footage, especially news footage and such.
Mhm.
And we're able to locate a lot of stuff. Then once you kind of find it, you also have to license it for use in your film. And at times that stuff can be rather expensive.
Mhm.
But we were very fortunate that um, the Obama's um,
Mhm.
production company, Higher Ground, wanted to take on our film, and
Mhm.
that they had an association with Netflix.
Yeah.
And so that we had the resources from Netflix and the Obamas to be able to have the kind of budget that was really called for and needed in this film to pay
Mhm.
for sometimes, costly archival footage. And so many other things. Even the music licensing, wasn't cheap,
Mm-hmm.
but we were able to get some great pieces of music, um, which was just awesome.
Yeah. And are you working on anything now?
A few things. I've I'm an executive producer on a couple of documentaries,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them is about this young man who's 12 years old who has a disability,
Mm-hmm.
Pfeiffer syndrome, and he is wants to make a murder mystery,
Mm-hmm.
and he's such a wonderfully smart, creative, charismatic person that
Mm-hmm.
you have no doubt that he can pull this off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really excited about that. And it, I don't know when it will be released. It's still being shot,
Mm-hmm.
and um, and I've got a couple of scripted television projects that are in various stages of trying to make it out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
And as we record this today, the both the writers union and the actors union are out on strike,
Mm-hmm.
and so nobody's making deals, nothing's moving forward at the moment. But I hope that's going to happen. And I'm also a executive producer on a travel show that's in development around disability and travel that should have a very big punk
Mm-hmm.
spirit to it and should
Yeah.
be very entertaining. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I'm keeping busy, my friend.
Hey, I'm Mr. Lebrecht. I wanted to say thanks for letting me interview you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity, and I've really
Thank you.
enjoyed talking with you. And
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Lebrecht.